Hi, welcome to another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'm Cheryl and I'm in charge of the craft kits at the main library, and today's video is to accompany a kit that we'll be giving out starting December 1st, 2024. But if you don't live near our library or you're watching this later on a YouTube channel, don't worry, I'll tell you everything that's in the kit so that you can buy the supplies to make it on your own. What we're making today are these cute little winter ornaments. And they don't have to be winter ornaments. I mean, if you did them in like red, white, and blue colors, it could be a 4th of July ornament. If you did them in pastels, it could be Easter ornaments. But we are making 3 different shapes: a teardrop, a little pointed oval, and a heart. And these are just made out of scrapbook paper. And you will have glitter to go in on the outside, but that's strictly optional. You don't have to use the glitter if you don't want to. So let's get started. All right, so what you'll have in the kit are 3 different colors of scrapbook paper, and they are pre-cut for the different shapes. You should be able to obviously tell what goes with what project because they're color coordinated pieces. But just in case, on the back I have also labeled each one. The T stands for the teardrop shape. For PO, it stands for the pointed oval. And then you'll have an H for the heart. And the colors will be mixed among the various kits. You will have 3 pieces of cord, and this is going to be 10 inches long. We're going to use that for the hanging loop. And you will have a glue stick. Okay, now, if you are making these yourself at home, for the teardrop shape, let me get my yardstick here so I can measure these and show you. For the teardrop, you will need 1 piece 10 inches long, 1 piece 8 inches long, and 1 piece 6 inches long. For the pointed oval, you will need 2 of each size, and the smallest is going to be 4.5 inches, so you'll need 2 of those. You will need 2 that are 5 inches long, and you will need 2 that are 6 inches long. For the heart-shaped one, you will also need 2 of each size, and you will need 2 that are 4 inches long, 2 that are 6 inches long, and 2 that are 5 inches long. So 4, 5, and 6 for the heart shape. You will also have a little bit of clear iridescent glitter. Now this is completely optional. I know a lot of people don't like glitter, so this is available if you would like to put glitter around the outside strip. So let's get started first of all with the teardrop shape. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with them face down, and we're going to find the different sizes. Now the longest one is going to be on the bottom face down. The other 2 are going to be face up. They're different directions so that you can see the colors from the way the ornament will normally hang. So we're going to glue just the tops together. So I'm going to glue probably just about like the top 1/2 inch. And going to line up the top, make sure they're straight. Then I'm going to put a little glue there. I'm going to put the next one on. So we're going from largest to smallest. And remember, the large one is face down, the other 2 are face up. Now while that sets, we're going to take the cord and we're going to form the hanging loop. So you'll want to put the 2 ends together and just wrap them around and form a knot and pull it up near the end. Now the knot is to make sure that it doesn't pull out of the ornament. It's just to stop it from pulling right through in case the glue doesn't hold. Now we're going to put some more glue on the top here. We're going to put this straight down there. Maybe add a little bit more glue. And the knot's going to be down below the glue. So then we're going to take this end, bring it up, you see, and just hold it down right there. Give it a second, holding it down to make sure it sticks. Then we're going to do the same thing with the next size. And I'm going to do the same thing with the final one. So you'll see you'll have it looking like this. And I'm going to hold this, and you'll see where the knot is. The knot is just below the glue. And I'm going to hold this here and give it a really good squeeze just until it gets really tacky and sets up. It should be just a minute or two. And that should be your finished item. Now, if you want to put glitter on this, you could have done that. You could put the glitter on before you do the outside piece, or you can put it on now. You can just do a little bit there, and just tap a little bit down onto it. The more glitter you can get on. And we're using the iridescent clear so that it's not obnoxious. It's not like over the top glittery, but it gives a nice subtle sparkle. And I'm going to set this aside to dry. So what I will do is I will set this on the edge of the table like this, and I will put a book on this end to hold it really sturdily. Or sometimes I take a clothespin or a clip, a binder clip if I have it, and just stick it on there until it completely dries. And now, since this was on a piece of paper, I can just roll this up and pour it back in the bag. What I like to do sometimes is I like to take a little bowl, and I will just pour the glitter in there so that I don't have to sprinkle it. And let's go on to the pointed oval now. And so I'm going to show you how to do the glitter before instead of after. So I'm going to find my two largest pieces, and in this case I will just run the glitter down this way, and I will just kind of tap it down so that it's glittered before I even start. And I probably should let this dry a little bit before I start making it, otherwise I'll get glue on my hands, on my fingers. But sometimes this is a little bit easier, but it also uses more glitter. Now for the pointed oval, remember we have two of each size, and these are all gonna go face down. And we're going to construct them in two halves. So I am going to glue this set together at one end. Making sure that your strips are lined up. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Line them up, glue them together at one end with the largest on the bottom. And in this case, we are going to put them all face down. So I have the three like this glued this way. We did them separate because on this one, if you're looking at it like this, if you had the colored end colored on the bottom, when you're looking at it, you would not be able to see all of the color. It would be hidden inside here. So that's why we do these two face up and this one face down, because we'll see the outside here and then we'll see mostly of the inside here. But on the others, they're going to be going back to back like this, and so we'll be able to see all the colors inside. So now we're going to do the cord just like we did before. Now we're going to put this down here. Now on this one, the two inside small pieces will get glued together. So we're going to run the glue a little bit that way, and I'm going to that way. And you want to make sure the tops that are glued together are together, so are at the top here. So we're going to hold that down. And normally what I would do is I would hold this down and I would wait for this to dry or put a clip on it. And then I want to make sure these two center pieces, I usually like to glue them together, the two smallest ones. Now what we're going to do for these, now obviously I'm not waiting for this to dry because I want to keep on with the demonstration. So we have the center ones that are glued together as much as we can with the knot in the middle. So now we're going to glue, we're going to take some glue here toward this end of the center one and bring this one up so that it's a little bit longer, so it just poofs out just a little bit. And we're going to do the exact same thing for this end. This one's even longer, so it's going to poof out even more when we line up the ends. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Put it on the smallest section, bring this down, line up the ends to glue so that it poofs out. We're going to glue this next section, line it up, and hold it down tight. And see how that forms a nice little ornament shape? And I would do the exact same thing with this. I would put a clip on it or hold it until it stays. All right, so now we're going to do the heart shape. And once again, we have 3 different sizes. Now, in this case, we are going to take, and we're going to set the small ones aside for right now. We're going to work with the 2 larger ones. I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to glue the ends together, just of the 2 larger ones. Both face down, with the biggest one on the bottom. So you see you have glued up one end. There we go. Now we're going to do the hanging cord like we did before. And on this one, I'm just not going to put any glitter because you've seen both of the methods for putting on glitter. Now for this one, we're going to be doing this a little bit differently. So it's going to have the center piece down the middle like this one does. But what we're going to do in order to form the curve of the heart, we're going to take this part here, and you see this part here? It's glued on this end, not on that end. We're going to glue this down like this so that they are, this one's face up, this one's face down, but they're all glued right there. We're going to do that exact same thing for this one. Glue there. This is the glued end, so it goes face down. Now in this case, we are going to take and glue, we're going to fold these over and glue them like this eventually. So now I'm going to flip these over, and I am going to put some glue here, and I am going to put the loop up this way onto the larger pieces with the glued part on the smaller piece. And then I'm going to flip these over so that on this side you have the white parts together, and on the long open end you have the colored parts together with that loop in the center. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring these down and glue them at the end, like we did with the pointed oval. We're going to do that. And we're going to do this one, so that you see you have a half of a heart. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and then I will, sometimes if it feels like it's pulling apart, I will add a little bit more glue up in here and hold it there for a few minutes until it stays pretty solid. There's not a lot of pressure on this end, so it should stay pretty easily, but on this end you've got the curves of the heart trying to pull it apart, so you really need to make sure that this end is glued pretty securely. And so that's our little heart shape. Okay, so those are our 3 paper ornaments. This is a great project to do with kids because there's not a lot of cutting involved. If you have the pre-cut strips, they can just glue it. You can get some clothespins or binder clips, and they can, you know, some colorful clips, and they can clip it on while they're drying. And then you can just hang them up. And you can do this with any kind of scrapbook paper, so it's a good way to use up your leftover little pieces and strips of scrapbook paper. Well, that's it for today. So thank you for viewing another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'll see you next time. Bye.